were working towards a degree. We was also studying these, can I say that word in these videos? Can I say the word in my videos? It's not nice. We was also studying these men, okay? I don't know if they were all men, boys, boy men, what have you. Our focus was on also, how do I get this degree, but also how do I get this man, because I am not considered successful by the world unless I have both. What's up, y'all? It's your girl Shelah Marie, and I'm here to talk about how to find self-love in your 20s. I am now in my 30s. Also, since we're talking about self-love, can we talk about this body love? I love it. So, I'm in my 30s now, so I feel like I have a little bit of insight. I can kind of be like a little big sis, kind of. And I also struggled with self-love throughout my entire 20s. Really my whole life, but I feel like my 20s is when it hits you the hardest. If you're growing up, I would say this is not only an American thing, but I just don't want to say it's global across the world, but especially where I grew up in America, there's a lot of pressure on you, especially around your 20s. And it's also compounded when you're a woman. So there's that. Let me sip that tea. Speaking of women, you already know the vibes. Wait, can you see it? You already know the vibes. You already know the vibes. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna let the lighting come back. So there's that tea. Girl. First of all, I'm gonna say, if I could go back and speak to my younger self, if I could go back to 20-year-old Shelah, I would tell her, number one, you're going to be so glad that this does not work out. I promise you, sis, there is bigger and better fish in the sea. I feel like the first thing about finding self-love in your 20s is taking the focus off of other people. I think that, especially for women, your 20s is like, I don't know about you, but I know like me and my homegirls, it was all like, wow, okay, we're graduating high school, we're going to college, we got these 4 years and we want to leave college with a man. I mean, it was a common thing, like with my friends, that it would be like, you got this degree, but you really weren't successful at life unless you left college with a man. And so it was on the same time we were on a hunt for a degree and we were working towards a degree, we was also studying these, can I say that word in these videos? Can I say the word in my videos? It's not nice. We was also studying these men, okay? I don't know if they were all men, boys, boy men, what have you. Our focus was on also, how do I get this degree, but also how do I get this man, because I am not considered successful by the world unless I have both. It doesn't matter how driven you are, it doesn't matter how successful you are and career oriented you are, there's still a very large overarching narrative that being married and having babies is what completes a woman. And as we know now, women are making more money than ever, especially black women. Black women are more degreed than any other population in the United States. We're opening businesses. I feel like even in 2021, we were the largest population of new business owners. So we're doing a lot of other things that bring us fulfillment in life, and that is also adjusting our timeline. And so we're moving towards having children and getting married later, but that stigma has not been updated. Even now, I'm married and I get the question all the time, when are you having a baby? When are you having a baby? Don't you want kids? Aren't you gonna have children? Aren't you and Ace having children? When are you gonna have children? Oh, sis, are you pregnant? Like all the time, because it's like you're not complete. You didn't do your thing unless you did that. You know what I'm saying? So with that said, that narrative is all about women's energy leaving us and always being outward, leaving our bodies and always going towards other people. It doesn't matter what you do, pouring into yourself is not enough. You always have to make sure that you have other people in your life so that you can pour your energy into them. Now, I like that idea, right? In theory, of course I want children. Of course I love having a husband. I like pouring my energy into them. I like cooking. I like planning things for my bonus kids and all that. But in your 20s, right now, like it's speaking currently in 2021, there's many other areas of focus. So I would say I spent a lot of my 20s focusing on others, right? I wanted to make sure that I could get a man, like, you know, that I was a good girlfriend, whatever that means. I also was thinking about pleasing other people, about how people thought about me, about how my peers thought about me. And I feel that college, even if you go to college or not, your 20s is a really important time for self-exploration. And if you're always thinking about what other people want of you and what other people expect of you, you're not ever going to give yourself the space for exploration. And I don't say this in a selfish way, in the negative connotation, like, oh, F everybody, I'm going to do my things. That type of rebellion does not come from self-love either. Okay? The type of exploration that I'm talking about is, I am going to find out who I am. What do I like? What do I think about this thing? In my 20s, that's when I started my exploration spiritually as well. I did not get raised in a religious household, but I still always felt drawn to religion and spirituality. I would go to church on my own. I live in South Florida, and taking a city bus is not easy. It's not like, you know, New York, where the MTA is very common, like people take it all the time, or in, you know, the tube. It is not reliable. It comes sometimes, it takes a long time, and it's hot down here all the time. I still felt compelled after school to stand outside in the heat, wait on the city bus. Despite all of that, I still felt called to go to church. I felt called to read the Bible. That is how I felt called. So it wasn't until my 20s where I really felt like, I'm questioning some things. I'm having some questions, and I started my own spiritual journey. I started reading about Buddhism and Hinduism, and I started meditating, and I started just exploring because it was my own curiosity. And I've been a curious child, which means I'm a curious woman and adult. And if I never allowed myself to explore that natural curiosity, I would definitely not be where I am right now. And I always have that like nagging in the background, what if. So the first thing I would say definitely is use this time to prioritize yourself. Don't spend all of your 20s focusing your energy on other people. The second thing I'm going to say is, it sounds like a blanket statement when I say self-love, because we don't know what self-love means sometimes. It's just this ethereal concept in the air. Like, what does it mean to love myself? Like, what does that mean? Is that a bubble bath? Is that a face mask? Like, what is it? So for me, when I talk about self-love, I always bring up acceptance, because self-acceptance is like the action word. It's like the verb, right? Verb is an action word. Yes, I did get that right. I am not the greatest at grammar, but I did get that right. If the noun, the thing we want is self-love, the vehicle to get there to me is self-acceptance. So I would practice that as much as I can. Be weird, be wild, accept your, you know, like I feel like I rejected so much of myself during my 20s because I thought that there was all these boxes I was supposed to fit into, and I wasn't fitting into them. And there is a lot of pressure that is also unrealistic, especially if you're growing up now. Like, if you're watching this if you're watching this video and you're just now getting into your 20s, you've also been growing up with social media, and humans have never had this much visibility. We never had this much intimate insight into how other people are living and being. When I was growing up, if it was a holiday, Valentine's Day, Christmas, whatever, all you would have is maybe your neighborhood. You go around your neighborhood, maybe you see what kids got, maybe you didn't, maybe you go inside, maybe you don't. Like, we didn't have all of this social media to show us all of these ways which may not be realistic. And I feel that it can be very seductive in the sense that, or the word I want to say is, it can be very insidious, because I think it can develop unrealistic expectations that really nobody can live up to, because all of these are just moments that you're seeing. They're snapshots. They're not a moving, living image, and you don't know what happened before or after that picture. So I would say, use the law of attraction to attract people who not only love themselves, but are into the things that you're into. The more you accept all of who you are, the more you accept that, hey, I like anime, I don't know, what do you like? Whatever weird things you think you like, whatever you want to explore, let it breathe, let it live, and you will attract a community that can support you in that as well. The final piece of advice that I would give for a woman who is looking to develop self-love in her 20s is dive into a spiritual practice. Find some type of spiritual practice that grounds you. I find it can be very helpful to have a spiritual grounding. some type of spiritual practice, whether it's prayer, whether it's church, or whatever religious institution you go to, or meditation. Having something that grounds you spiritually can really help ease some of the pressures that are coming at you in your 20s. I would also say release the pressure to get it right. Release the pressure to get it right, and just know that it's not if you get something wrong, it's when. Like, this is the time. And also, this continues through our whole life. We never stop getting things wrong. We never stop trying. We never stop. That's just a myth. That is not how humans work. We're not robots. We're not computers. And that's the beauty of humanity. So I would say allow yourself to make mistakes and release the need to get it right. The need to get it right creates a sense of rigidity and prevents flow. Like creativity, the divine feminine comes through us through flow. If you're putting this harsh pressure on yourself where you have to get it right and you have to nail everything, you're not gonna allow any room, any space, any air for, like, I just call it the magic sometimes. It's those miracles, it's those opportunities that just pop up. It's that thing that popped into your mind in the middle of the night, this idea that came to you in a meditation. And those things are really important for us throughout our whole life, but especially during your 20s, where you're really figuring out who you are and what you like. The pressure to get things right, the pressure to know, the pressure to nail it, you know, Wolf of Wall Street. There's all these images that, like, you're supposed to be amazing and a millionaire by 21, and you're supposed to have it figured out and never make mistakes. And then, you know, by 21 you got the $1 million business, and then you got the BMW, and then you got the life may or may not work out like that. But if you're putting pressure on yourself to constantly be getting things right, you're gonna find that you never actually appreciate the moment, and you never actually experience the success that you are inhabiting. Like, if you're always projecting out there, like, when I get that, okay, now I have to do that, now I have to do that, you really never capture the beauty of the moment. And then you become essentially a computer, a robot that's just ticking off tasks. And really and honestly, this is one of the reasons why I love meditation. The beauty is in the present moment. That sounds kind of like a Hallmark card. It really does, but it is true. Like, a lot of times we look up and we're like, wow, I'm actually living in the thing I was praying about. So if we're not careful during our 20s, that can just pass you by. Next thing you know, you're like, dang, actually that was kind of lit, you know? Oh yeah, I think a key component to developing self-love in your 20s is actually to get outside of your comfort zone. And that might sound counterintuitive, because I did tell you to surround yourself with people who love you and support you, right? At the same time, traveling for me, like, I traveled a lot. I only spent 1 semester of college in the United States. The entire rest of the years I was gone. I was living in Costa Rica, I was living in Germany, I was living in London, I traveled to Haiti, Senegal. Like, I was out of here. Like, I wanted to go see the world, and I knew I didn't have the funds. My family did not have no money to send me nowhere. I knew that the only way that I was going to get to do it was by applying for scholarships and studying abroad. And I ended up working in the international affairs department, like, in my school, like, with a work study program, and that is how I was able to travel. So I would just say this: get out of your comfort zone, boo. I promise you. Like, I promise you it's gonna pay off. Like, a lot of times when you're growing up, you're around people that all think like similarly. We all think we grew up in the same community, we're around the same people, we eat the same food, we listen to the same music, we have the same political views, and you really do yourself a disservice if you never get outside of that. Really, the most intelligent thinkers, the most successful people on the planet are people that remove themselves from their comfort zones and surround themselves with people who think differently than them. It's not that you have to adopt these beliefs, it's that it's just being exposed to it. It's seeing those beliefs and then still knowing that this is my beliefs. Because you might see the beliefs and say, well, I might have to readjust mine a little bit, or I might tweak mine. A lot of people are scared of that. And I feel like during my 20s, I was exploring it, but some people are so scared of that. They're so scared of that their beliefs actually are their identity, that I am my beliefs. And so if I am adjusting my beliefs, or if I am changing my beliefs, who am I? But it's really, that is a myth. You are not your beliefs. You are way more than that. And the more you can expand your worldview, the more richer you can experience life. And that's on period. So I would say, if it's travel, if it's joining different clubs that have, if it's You know, there's apps now, Clubhouse, you know what I'm saying? That's online. You know, going on Instagram, getting inside of communities that are outside your own. Read books that are outside of the things that you're familiar with. Expose yourself to new ideas. Get outside your comfort zone and then see where that takes you. I think I covered it. I think we're good, guys. Happy 20s. I'm just kidding. Anyway, I hope this video helps you. I just gave a lot of information that I would have wished somebody would have told me in my 20s. I was just stumbling through life, figuring it out. But that's also the beauty of this doll too. So anyway, I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.